Hello, friends. Hello, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wonderful to be with you from wherever we're showing up in the world. I'm in Tuscany, in Italy. It's 4 p.m. here, and yeah, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time zone you're in, and wherever on this earth you're in. Um, Again, a bit of technical issues, but I hope you can see and hear me okay. I trust that that is the case. I see the hellos and buongiornos. That's very sweet. Hi, everyone. Um, so, so today we'll continue um, with our exploration, with our meditation, and exploring the theme of Sangha. Sangha, one of the important, just as important as the other two jewels, the triple jewel being the Buddha, the possibility of us waking up, the internal Buddha, the external Buddha, the Dharma, these beautiful teachings that we practice. Um, Capital D, the teachings of the Buddha, Dharma with capital D, the teachings of the Buddha, Dharma with small d, the lawful way that nature unfolds. And Sangha, community, concord, spiritual friendship, just as important. This relationality of practice, which is just as important as the Buddha, the external Buddha, the internal Buddha, the possibility of waking up, as important as the teachings. And it is said that the next Buddha is going to be the Sangha. So the next Buddha, the next entity, the next being that wakes up is the Sangha, is the community that wakes up together. So this week we're exploring, as I mentioned yesterday, as Gil has been very skillfully guiding the community through samadhi, 12 weeks of settling, collecting, gathering the mind, and later when he comes back, vipassana, these beautiful meditative practices. I figure that this week I'll bring in this relational element of our practice, which is just as important, part of the triple jewel. So Sangha, community, spiritual friendship, Kalyāṇa, mitta, concord, etc., etc. So that is the theme for this week. And I'll um, say a little bit about the meditation for today. And the meditation for today, the theme for today. So yesterday's theme was the power, the importance of spiritual friendship. I'll say a little more during the Dharmette as a review of yesterday. And today, the theme today is the qualities of a true friend, the qualities of a true supportive relationship. So it could be friend, relative, but the qualities, the important qualities for us to foster both in the relationships that we um, we look for, we receive, and also in ourselves as we give, as we intend to be a good friend to others. May I be a good friend to myself. May I be a good friend to others. So today, the theme of the meditation, well, I'll introduce the theme of the meditation as we meditate. How's that? So we'll just start as usual, settling, arriving in the body, and I'll introduce the theme. So with that, let's settle as it's comfortable for you to settle. Arriving, settling in this moment in time, in this body. Feeling your connection to the earth. Wherever on this planet you are in this moment, I am in this moment. I belong. I am part of this human family, both the wider human family as well as this community. I belong in this community. Just for showing up. I'm a member of this community. You don't have to pay dues. There's no cards to issue. I belong. I'm a member. I belong here. I'm practicing. I belong. I'm an important part of this community. I'm part of this web, interconnected web. And allow your heart to feel the way you belong. You are interconnected inextricably from this community. And landing in your body, taking your place in this vast space, this vastly interconnected space, taking your seat. If you're sitting, really feeling into your sit bones, feeling into your sit bones, into your bottom, landing into the cushion, the chair, feeling your feet on the earth if you're sitting on a chair. Or if you're sitting on a cushion, the underside of your legs connected to the earth. A sense of stability, connected, well rooted, sitting dignified, upright, taking my place for this limited time, for this flash of lightning that I'm alive, for this limited time, taking my place, feeling my presence. Sometimes it feels supportive for me to feel as if there is this uprightness, this centrality to my whole spine, as if there is a pole in the middle of my body, a bright pole. Ah, where my heart is centered around this upright pole. My heart is centered, my belly is centered, my sit bones are centered around this upright vertical pole. And I can relax around it. I can feel upright and I can be relaxed and soft and allow the breath to move through, emptying my heart from what's not needed, nourishing it with brightness and kindness, emptying my mind from what's not needed in this moment. Allowing the breath to move through, emptying, calming, stabilizing more as we take our seat. Even in the midst of difficulty, it is so sweet. It is so sweet to be alive, to have this opportunity to be for this limited time. Can I appreciate my beingness, the miracle of my being in this moment, and settle, just settle, let go. Settle the body, settle the mind and heart. Just relax, let go, settle into my heart. And I allow the sweetness of sitting with Sangha to uplift my heart in this moment. The inspiration, aspiration. Can I sit just a little more upright, a little more with heart, spaciousness for the sake of my fellow practitioners, and trusting that they too are rooting for me, are cheering me on. We're all cheering each other with heart, with kindness. I allow my heart to be brightened just a little bit, even if things are hard, to know that I'm not alone in this moment. Supported in ways I cannot imagine or see, and supporting others in ways I can't imagine. Just through this being, sitting, breathing. Very simple, not complicated, not heady. Now, if you like, you can stay with the breath, with the body, the feeling of interconnection. Or you're welcome to drop in the invitations that I will share. And these invitations, reflections, again, like yesterday, let's drop them into the body, into our hearts, as if we're dropping pebbles into a body of water. And let them resonate, reverberate. We're not dropping them into our heads, thinking about them. No, we drop in the reflection and just sit with it. Breathe with it. And here's the reflection. Considering qualities of a good friend. Can we bring to our hearts perhaps a friend or a benefactor or a relative or parent or anyone, any being who's been a wise counsel for us or has been compassionate, kind, or has been loyal. Maybe there is a friend who's continues to send emails and calls us, checks in on us. This good friend. Any of these qualities in this meditation is enough. Not to make it challenging, but any of these qualities in a being, in the recent or distant past, that comes to your mind, comes to your heart space. Welcome yourself to sit with this quality. Maybe it's been a wise friend who's given us wise counsel, perhaps gently, kindly, sharing with us something that we didn't want to hear, but they had our benefit in mind. Or a friend who was compassionate, kind, when we were having a difficult time. Inviting this friend to your heart space, just spending time with them, breathing in, breathing out, allowing your heart to be lit up by this quality, by this particular quality of goodness, bringing some nuance to the recognition of the quality of goodness, whether it's compassion, loyalty, wisdom, ethical conduct. How are you fulfilled? How is your heart enriched, inspired, uplifted with gratitude? And now I would like to invite you, if you would, invite yourself to your heart space as a good friend, both to yourself, a good friend to others, allowing yourself to feel into this heart quality. Again, dropping this reflection into your heart, not your head. Quality of kindness, compassion, generosity of heart, generosity of spirit, wise counsel, ethical conduct. That you've been there for somebody else. Feeling into the goodness of this being who is you. Stepping outside of yourself and recognizing your own goodness. Let yourself be uplifted by your own goodness, the nuance of it. And if your mind is one that doesn't see your own goodness, please know that you simply showing up, you are being a good friend to yourself, and you're being a good friend to others. Others in this Sangha, others in your life, simply by showing up and practicing. Please reflect on this goodness if nothing else is coming up, showing up in your heart space. And breathing in this goodness, breathing out with this goodness, letting it uplift your heart. Most of life is just showing up. The more we recognize, the more we turn towards the goodness of ourselves and others. The more we water the seed of goodness, the more we see it, the more we water it, the more we seek it, the more we become it, the more we turn towards it. And as we turn to bring this guided meditation, this sit to a close together, turning towards goodness of ourselves, of our fellow practitioners. If any judgments are coming up that you were distracted, you were sleepy, you were XYZ, let the judgment come and go. Hear it. Thank you for your opinion, dear judging voice. Thank you. Thank you very much for your opinion. You don't have to believe it. Just one of many voices, many opinions on the council. And trust that you've planted wholesome seeds of goodness by your practice, by your showing up. Even if there was one moment of mindfulness, of gratitude, of turning towards goodness, your heart uplifted, bright, that's infinitely better than none. So, together, may all beings everywhere be well. May all beings everywhere know their own goodness. May they be a good friend to themselves, a good friend to others. May we all be a good friend to ourselves and one another. Thank you. Ding, ding, ding. Thanks, everyone. Pause for a moment and shift the recordings. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back. Well, you haven't left, but uh, two different recordings. Anyway, good to be with you. Good to practice with you. So, oh yeah, and appreciate you so much, especially given that the series of talks are about Sangha. My heart particularly, especially lights up seeing all the messages and all the names in chat. The Sangha really, um, yeah, it's this Sangha is its own this alive, um, the sense of aliveness in this entity that is made up of all of us. So beautiful. It uplifts my heart. So, yes, so Dharmette, yes, Dharmette. So, yeah, continuing on this theme of Sangha, of this interactive aspect of our practice, just as important as the other two jewels, as I mentioned earlier, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. The Buddha, the possibility of awakening, awakening in turn, the Buddha inside, the Buddha outside, the historical Buddha, the teachings of the Buddha, Dharma with capital D, small d with the lawful way that things unfold, and Sangha, the community, noble friends, supporting one another towards awakening, towards becoming the best versions of ourselves for the sake of all beings, for the sake of ourselves and others. So, so the theme yesterday was about the power of spiritual friendship, Kalyāṇa mitta, beautiful friendship, Kalyāṇa meaning beautiful, wholesome, and mitta, friendship. And the few things that I mentioned yesterday is that spiritual friendship is not just a luxury, it's the entirety of holy life. And also, we talked about how spiritual friendships, these wise friendships, maybe spiritual sounds like a heavy word, but wise friendship, let's say wise friendship. Otherwise, it sounds perhaps a little hoity-toity, and it doesn't need to be that. Uh, Wise friendship, good heart friendship, beautiful friendships. Yeah, let's just use the Pali word. The Buddha has given us already the Pali word. So beautiful, virtuous, beautiful friendships. There's also deep emotional attunement that we talked about. There's contagion that we talked about, both emotional contagion and also ethical contagion. People whom we spend time with, they inspire us. We become like them. So there's it's really the soil. There's the soil principle that the soil of friendships, the soil of the community that we plant ourselves in can nourish us. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the qualities of a true friend as the Buddha has talked about it in the different suttas. And so, in, for example, the Buddha talks about a true friend is one who safeguards, counsels, and stands firm through seasons of change. So in Digha Nikaya 31, the Buddha is teaching a layperson, Sigala, about the duties of right conduct, including on how to honor and recognize and honor true friends. And this is what the Buddha says. The helper, the enduring companion in happiness and sorrow, and good counselor and compassionate. These are the friends to be cherished. It just uplifts my heart when I hear these qualities. It also I feel inspired, aspiring to um, to embody these, as the Buddha says. So here we go: the helper, the enduring companion in happiness and sorrow, the good counselor, and the compassionate. These are the friends to be cherished. And in traditional commentaries, these four types of true friends are known as the suhadaya, suhadaya mitta, suhadaya mitta, the friends of the heart. And these kinds of friendships don't arise just through accident, but through purposeful cultivation of goodwill and shared virtue and trust. So they just don't happen to us, these friendships, right? They take cultivation, nourishment. And again, the four types of true friends, as the Buddha talks about it, these four qualities. One is the helper, enduring companion, so this loyalty aspect, good counselor, wise counsel, and the compassionate. These are the four qualities that he's mentioning in this sutta. There are other qualities in other places, and I'll bring them in the future days. But um, so yes. So the Buddha also is emphasizing here the reciprocity of friendship. Just as a friend protects you, you should offer protection, a loyalty, and your presence in return. And friendship isn't just about receiving care, of course. It's about becoming a person who embodies it, who becomes a refuge, becomes a good friend for others. So, as I'm talking about these good friendships today and yesterday as well, if your mind goes, oh, I want good friends. Oh, I don't have good friends. Oh, it's so hard to find good friends. Ooh, pause, my dear, pause. What if you shifted? How can I be a good friend? How can I be a good friend to others? How can I be a Kalyāṇa mitta to others? Ooh, wow, that uplifts my heart. There's no scarcity or lack. Well, it's my heart. Can I be a noble friend? So, um, okay, I'm going to move on. More points I want to make. And the Buddha also talks about the counterfeit friend versus the true friend. Also in Digha Nikaya 31, uh, he talks about beware of the taker, the sweet talker, the flatterer, and the reckless companion, for they abandon you when hardship comes. And these descriptions, especially when framed for householders, illuminate the psychological characteristics of ego based relationships, where they're friendships that are based on gain, deceiving for approval, and vanishing when hardship comes. Um, and and the false friendship is often propped up by mutual craving, right? Rather than mutual care. Mutual craving rather than mutual care. And the Buddha's teachings call us to notice the subtle difference between attachment based connection and liberation supporting friendship. I'll say this again. Attachment, this clinginess, this cling or craving based connection versus liberation supporting friendship. And in living a wise life, or intending to live a wise life, a friend who flatters but does not challenge you is considered dangerous in this context. But a friend who lovingly corrects you, lovingly corrects you when they see that perhaps something unethical or challenging or difficult you're doing, or perhaps you have a blind spot in your mind, and they lovingly correct and support you. That friend, that kind of a friend, is considered invaluable in these teachings. And friendship is sustained by virtue and mutual connection, mutual support, mutual protection in this old language. So true friendship rests not only on emotional closeness, but also on shared ethical foundation. And it's so interesting because in psychological research in the West, it is said that the foundation of a relationship is trust. Trust. And trust is the most basic level, really, is the ethical foundation, right? When you trust someone's word, their actions, that level of trust is based on this ethical foundation. So again, there's so much. I mean, this is not so much, Buddhism doesn't have hegemony over wisdom, over world wisdom. Many times, various traditions, of course, and psychology that does research on these various, very, very human truths, discover that, oh, yes, they're the same. Of course, our friendships are based on shared ethical foundation of trust and ethical behavior. So in Anguttara Nikaya 735, the Buddha says, the good person is one who, faithful, virtuous, learned, generous, and wise, becomes a reliable companion and guide. And again, I'd like to invite you to turn everything that I say, instead of looking outside, look inside. Can I be this good person that the Buddha describes? The good person is one who, uh, faithful, actually, may faithful, better translation in this case, is having trust, having confidence in the Dharma, in these teachings, virtuous, ethical, having ethical integrity, learned, generous, having dana and chaga, wise, becomes a reliable companion and guide. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that for us to aspire to be this for ourselves and others? So a friend who keeps the precepts of non-harming, the 5 precepts of non-harming, practices generosity, and reflects on impermanence is the one who uplifts not just your comfort, but your liberation. Not just your comfort, but your liberation. And in traditional Theravada commentaries, such friends are said to be upakāraka. I'll say it again. Sorry, I put the accent in the wrong place. Upakārara mitta, upakārara mitta, upakārara mitta. assistant companions, those who point out your faults with kindness, celebrate your progress, and remind you of the Dharma in the times of despair. Isn't that beautiful? I love that description. Upakāraka mitta, those who point out your faults with kindness, celebrate your progress, and remind you of the Dharma in the times of despair, in difficult times. And last thing I want to say is how noble friendship transcends personality. Again, um, it's a friendship that is supporting you. It's not just uh, supporting, the ego and making you feel comfortable, but is actually offering you, pointing out your faults. Really, this out of compassion, out of love, out of care. So, a true friend that sees beyond your moods and self image, but speaks from the perspective of your highest potential, not your passing preferences, but really seeing your highest potential, your true goodness and beauty. And and maybe yeah, given that we're out of time, I'll transition to sharing the reflection questions. So here are the reflection questions for today. In my life, who offers counsel that prioritizes my true welfare even over my comfort? Are there friends who offer counsel that prioritizes my true welfare over even over my comfort? And how do I receive that? How can I be with that? Here's a second reflection. How might I strengthen my own practice of being a reliable, wise, and compassionate friend? How can I strengthen my own practice of being a reliable, wise, and compassionate friend? And the third and last reflection for today, where do I need to become more discerning between superficial and noble companions? Is there a place that I need to become more discerning between superficial and noble companions and friends? So, with that, my dear friends, this is our Dharmette and invitations for reflections on the qualities of good friendship. How can we embody them and also see them in others? So, thank you so much for joining today. No bells today thus far. I think yesterday was beautiful and special. So may there be bells in your heart. May there be bells in all of our hearts. Thank you so much for joining. May you have a beautiful day of friendship, yourself and others. Be well and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care.